A very, very warm good evening. This is Anawa Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is April the 23rd, 2025. It's Wednesday and another match day in the Super Cup. Sorry that I'm a few minutes late. Thought I'd come online a little earlier, couldn't do that. And wearing a Mumbai City shirt today, of course, in honor of the result, and not only the result, but also the performance from Mumbai City FC from a very, very weakened Mumbai City FC, I have to say. But yeah, the team stood up today, and one has to give them, a lot of respect for that. Not only them, but also Inter Kashi winning on penalties against ISL Cup finalists Bengaluru FC. So a big, big win for Inter Kashi. A lot to speak about also on what has been happening on social media after that. And let me get into your question, your queries, your points. Sterling says disgraceful performances from Chennaiyin FC and Bengaluru FC with a full strength squad goes back to a point that Zaragoza lacks tactical knowledge. Okay. But he says, as an opponent fan, I'd love to see Zaragoza continue. Esigo are looking like massive favorites as the term progresses. Sterling, looking at this tournament and looking at individual results and looking at the opportunities that there are, I would say, yeah, you could suppose that FC Goa have an advantage going into the next matches. But I think you have to see each individual match by itself. Who did they play? Who did they face? How did they play? And then they have to play another day. So therefore, that's why I said from the start, I think it's very, very difficult to really say who is a favorite, who's not. I think 80-90% of fans would have said today before the game between Chennaiyin FC and Mumbai City, with looking at the Mumbai City FC squad, that Chennaiyin FC are clear-cut favorites to win this. But but Mumbai City pulled it off, and a lot of respect for the team. And so therefore, let's see. The actual winners of I-League fought today like an army with a powerful kingdom such as Bangalore FC with a full squad strength, while the political power Hyderabad has run away from Mumbai super giant B plus C team. Kudos to Kashi, says Aditya. So yeah, that's a lot of things. A lot of things that are happening on social media, one has to say. We'll have to wait and see. Sterling says Churchill Brothers pay their players per tournament. There was no way they would participate. Sterling, and that is, I think, the problem, right? Again, we have a system now. Again, I remember there were even when tournaments used to be extended by a few days, it became a problem for clubs. And here, I think that the issue is if you can't do that, then don't do it. Sterling says also it's time for Coyle and Obera to move on. Let's see what happens with both the coaches, both with heavy losses. And Methamphetamine asks, can you confirm India will play against Thailand? Is the news true? What I've heard out of Thailand, out of Bangkok, yes, India is supposed to play Thailand on June the 4th. Prepare themselves in Thailand and then head to Hong Kong. So that will be likely the friendly game for India. Right, 5 minutes. Let me start with what I also, of course, usually say. If you like the content, if you like what you're hearing, you'd like to what the discussion, do leave a like behind. 7 likes already today. Thanks a lot. And share with others, potentially to join us. We're still in this discussion for an hour and a half at least. And if you want to come back for more content, do subscribe to the channel. At the moment, we're at 2,509 subscribers. So yes, we did cross that mark a few days ago. So thanks a lot once again for that. I think Lobera's lack of vision for having young players who can give the life for him and not investing in bench costed us. Also, someone told him to stop bringing Mauricio from bench. Okay, that is Aditya's view on the matter. Mumbai away jersey looking great. Yes, yeah, wearing actually the Mumbai City away jersey, guys. Sorry, let me move a little back. A gift from the club to me. Thanks a lot again to Jonathan for that. And again, I think it's one of the stylish. Style-wise, it's I think one of the most beautiful ISL jerseys that there have been so far. I even like this patch with with the colors and the logo in orange. Really nicely done. Hey Roshan, welcome back. So did you see Intakashi's full-time caption on their socials? Yes, Shreen, I did see that, and so therefore, yeah, I think there is a little bit of a social media tussle going on. Let's put it this way nicely, and yeah, most probably Intakashi winning that at this moment. Hi Blue, after very sad incident, Kashmir Intakashi FC winning and other getting humbled made my mood a bit better. Yeah, been the incident yesterday in Kashmir. Yeah, nothing to say. Very very shocking, and yeah, let's see if there is any, as we talk in football also, if there's any accountability for what has happened. And I think that is something. Rage and anger is nice to have, but the question is those who are actually to blame for this, are they being taken to task or not? Indian football skyfall, very fast paced to add injury to it, court interference, says Murali. By the way, no punishment for Churchill brothers not playing despite promises, no punishment. Blue, I'm not sure. You know, so that's something, you know. Good question to ask the AIFF, right? It's their tournament. They opted out, and yeah, so let's see what happens. But normally there should be some sort of punishment. But India playing against Thailand, oh my God, Kalyan ko job macha na hai kya? Angry Birds, again, and this I've said this multiple times. The job of the AIFF president is not to organize or find, opponents for the Indian national team. That is not his job. His job is to overview stuff. This is the job of the national teams department. Now we have a new head in Shubhrata Pal. If my infos are right, then I would think that the approach came from the Thais to play us. So therefore, yeah, it's good, right? So therefore, take it seriously. Good job, whoever has done it in the AIFF. So let's see. What is the role academy compared to grassroots coach? Grassroots, first of all, has to teach the basics. Let the kids enjoy. And the older the kids get in the academy, you teach them the structure. Yeah. So therefore, for me, that's the key. But also, if the kids have not learned the basics, then they also learn the basics at academy level. So that's something, and we're talking at even at senior level in India nowadays, that kids are having to learn the basics. So that's part of the problem. And yeah, let's see where this takes us. During your childhood, did you try in a traveling club? Do you remember? No, I didn't have to trial. I just played football. I could have had trials, but I didn't. But yeah, I played football. Looks like Mumbai play better football when there is 8-9 Indian players on field. Sanket, they've tried it in the past as well with 3. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And therefore, for me, today it clicked. Today it also scored. I think Mumbai City have had chances throughout the season to be finishing better. Yeah. I want Mumbai to really qualify for ACL2. Let's see. Angry Birds, it's still possible. Mumbai City is in the last 8, so they would have to win 3 more matches. So let's see what happens. Favorite childhood football player? Morali. Lothar Matthäus, I would say. Super Cup knocked out doesn't do justice. The second AFC spot should be given who finishes second best in the league. The ISL AFC tournaments are tough. We want better teams with better squad players in the AFC. SB Sports Extremes. what should I tell you? I've explained this matter with, I don't know how many times now on this channel. The rule. So it's not for you to pick and say, listen, I'm sending XYZ team to a continental level competition, right? Here it's very, very simple, right? And the champions of a country in a league, which in the ISL is the ISL League Shield, that winner gets the first spot. If and when there is a second spot, then that spot goes to the cup winners. Now, in that instance, it is the winners of the Super Cup, right? If there is a third spot, by any chance, then that goes to the second placed team in the ISL. Or, with a special injunction, it could go to actually to the ISL Cup winners, but I don't think that that is the option. BSC out, only FC Goa, Mumbai City FC with better squad left. If a team with an average squad wins the Super Cup by chance, it's tough to compete in ACL too. Strong teams with better effort will have some chance. No, they don't have no chance. Who says we have a chance? Have you seen Indian clubs perform? Do you think Mohun Bagan has a chance in Asia with the performances that Mohun Bagan has had over the last 3 years? Mohun Bagan didn't even turn up for a match last year, right? So that's a reality. So, yeah. Intercash played really well today, despite being restricted to play with 3 for foreigners, 2 players who didn't start through Ali like Tomba and Shubham held heads high. Kashi should have won 2-1. He should have won, could have won. Yeah, doesn't count, right? But they did win on penalties, and yeah. Any news from courtroom today in your football? No, I haven't heard anything. I don't know if you have heard anything. I didn't have time today to listen. Yesterday I had time to listen. Today I didn't have time to listen to the hearing. Yeah. Result matters in football, but when team is not world class or good, can we shift blame on coach? Monali, the coach is always the weakest link when it comes to blaming in a sport, right? So therefore, for me, it doesn't matter if you are successful or a failure. If you're successful, mainly the players, you know, and if you fail, then it's the coach, right? Kratky did a great job with 2 foreigners compared to Chennaiyin FC with 5. I know, first of all, that, and secondly, not only that, but also injuries to the Indian players. It's not just 1 or 2 players, but Mumbai City has 5, 6, 7 players injured at this moment in time, and then to come back and then to win 4-0 against Chennaiyin, who are playing, as you say, 5 foreigners. Yeah. An election is bound to happen after constitution adoption, according to reports. Angry Birds, if the constitution is adopted in the current form that it is, we're going to get banned by FIFA, and then there is going to be no elections. So these reports are, a waste of time. Again, I've said again and again and again, as long as the FIFA view on the constitution is not taken into account, the AFC's view is not taken into account, the constitution is a waste of time. Is AIFF still exaggerating its losses? No, Sandeep. They're not. The losses are most probably even higher than what have been quoted by the media. One thing you tried to get rid of Indian football, but you failed. Honesty, right? Just be honest. Any situation you're very close to cover, failed, it shocked. Yeah, Murali, happens, and that's life, no? That is life. Owen is such an average coach. I still wonder how he got the initial success all talk, zero performance. Zoravar, has had success. He's brought up young players, but maybe he's over the hill, or maybe it's not working. I don't know. I mean, he's done wonders with Chennai. He's done wonders with Jamshedpur FC. So give him the credit. Give him the credit for that. Your views on Kashi's Nikola Stanojevic. Shreen, solid midfielder, more of a creative guy. I remember I first saw him at Mohammedan Sporting. Liked his movements, liked the way he plays. So good player. How's he done different from Beckham? Morali, those two, again, midfielders, yes, but Beckham was more of the flair player and Zidane was more of the strategist. Feeling good after Inter Kashi win. A lot of people talking trash about culture and legacy and how some teams deserve more because they have it. Yeah, Ranjit, very, very right. Hopefully Mumbai City FC or FC Goa win the Super Cup, the Kalinga Super Cup, says Pranjal, as they can actually perform in ACL 2 qualifiers, right? Not the proper tournament, but the ACL 2 qualifiers. That would be the case if Mumbai City FC or FC Goa, whoever wins it. Casimiro Fernandez says, hi, as of now, Churchill Brothers are qualified for ISL. Honestly, there will be very less support for FC Goa. Do you really think so? Do you really think that Churchill Brothers has more support than FC Goa? And secondly, Churchill Brothers are champions of the I-League. They are not qualified for the ISL. They still have to fulfill the criteria. And secondly, is there going to be an ISL, right? I saw in a social media post from Baljit Singh, Baljit Rihal, Indian origin, Sarit Kaur was fielding and even captaining for England under 16. Okay, nice. The third spot used to go to ISL Cup winners when we had. I know, Blue, we had, but again, normally it should go to the second team in the league standings. We had made an exception. Imagine when Hartwang as your cup is taken away from you, lose Kauko because of a red card in Havas in Colombia. So put the heart out for the game. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Utsav. Why can't we have English FA Cup kind of system where small teams get a chance to compete for domestic trophy? Utsav, that's the plan. That was the plan of the AIFF. I thought with, I don't know, Super Cup, Federation Cup, whatever was the call it, but yeah, cost factor, organization skills, Whatever you didn't lie to us about massive gaps of skills between I-League and ISL and I-League, right? Joking. Pranjal, I say what I believe, what I think I know, what I understand. I understand a little bit of football, I would say. And to me, looking at the reality of things, and I say it as I see it. Will I be always right? I've said that. No, I won't. I for myself, am accountable. Yeah. So did Havas leave? Kashi didn't see him today. No, Zoravar, he is on leave. His daughter gave birth to a child, so he's been given some leave, and they also had planned to give some of their sort of younger players a chance to like Shubham Das in goal, give some younger players a chance to play. Hi, Utkarsh. I missed the match. What worked well for Mumbai City FC that they've been struggling with in the ISL? Utilizing their chances. Simple as that. I think to me that was the most interesting thing to see, that Mumbai City was actually able to score of their chances, which has been their main problem all season, right? So therefore, for me, that's a big thing, yeah, and therefore for me, if you're able to score, of your chances, and Mumbai City has been creating chances. I think Mumbai City didn't play that badly as a lot of people have made them to play. I think that's the biggest difference. And they tried to play combined, play Kratky football. And even with so many injuries, so many key players out, they've made it. And, and Chante with 2 goals, Bipin in the goal, amongst the goals, Karelis amongst the goal scorers. I think that is well for the team. Arunda, I think we'll get banned because of this instance on Indian constitution, says Aditya. It's a danger. So therefore, that's it. I know what you mean, Aditya, and it worries me. That's why I've been speaking out on these things, on a regular basis, where I feel we need to look at, be careful that we don't get banned, because, and at least I heard yesterday a few people talking about the dangers of FIFA suspension, and therefore, let's wait and see what happens. But it is a chance, it is a danger. Sorry, guys. Nearly 22 minutes. Just a quick reminder to you guys, if you haven't, do leave a like behind, share it with other people to join in our discussions. 12 likes so far. Thank you very much. 2,510 subscriptions. Thank you. We are slowly growing, and also do watch the short videos that I try and make on a regular basis about what I think, is everyday. Today I made something on who can save us. Yesterday about East Bengal, its crisis. Before that, accountability, Churchill was in Takashi, the whole scenario. So therefore, please watch those videos as well and let me know what you think. Why India plays in West region in Asia? Why not East? If you had to pick, would you choose East or West? Methamphetamine, very simple. The AFC does the divisions, and then they look, they pull down some, a division in Asia. And East or West. East always sounds easier than the West, but I think at the moment where we are, it doesn't matter if East or West for us. I think any team is difficult if you're any honest, it wasn't, it wasn't the reason. Did Akash Mishra play? I didn't see the match. No, he didn't. He was not substituted on. Why do you criticize Mohammad Superjan for not going to Iran for the ACL game when there were rockets and bombs flying over the area the day before? Sterling, because when they were supposed to fly, there was nothing happening. Again, there was no reason. And even the matches were happening while the bombs were flying. And interesting, Sanjay Kumar, one of the Indian match commissioners, Sanjay, was in that stadium where a few kilometers away the rockets were fired. So therefore, there was never a security threat anywhere. If an Indian team would have been hit by the Israelis or something, or by the Iranians, hell would have broken loose. So Mohun Bagan going there would have never been in danger. So this is a bullshit, BS narrative that Mohun Bagan has been playing. Again, Mohun Bagan has, as successful as they have been at the national stage, Mohun Bagan sadly have been a big failure at the Asian stage over decades. It's not a new thing, and they didn't want to go. Plus, Mohun Bagan lost the points, but Al Nassr also played for a round, were allowed to relocate their match. Sterling, that was later. It was not on the same date. So again, if you want to have these discussions, please do your homework and get the right facts. Otherwise, it makes no sense. Sorry, I'm very particular in these things, right? And if there's no reason to chicken out, there's no reason to chicken out. That's a fact. And Mohun Bagan's fans like it or not. Havas is in Spain, family engagement. Yashin, as I said, the daughter gave birth to a child. Doesn't mean one case valid for protecting players. No, it doesn't. Chelsea fans want Owen to get sacked, by the way. After today, I think there's nothing else left. I think that Owen Coyle has had his time. But if you look at the result, difficult for him, right? Do you think fragmenting of a fan base in a smaller state like Goa will be good for football? Sterling, Goa is a small state for Indian standards, but there is enough of a population to not only support FC Goa, Churchill Brothers, Dempo, Salgaonkar, Sporting Club de Goa, even smaller clubs like Vasco and others, and therefore, it doesn't matter. Not every fan in Goa should be supporting one team. Sir, if there is so much difference in ISL and I-League quality, why can't ISL funds do an I-League club? Probably because I think Inter-Kashi, from a potential, is not an I-League team, right? And I think there are certain factors which have to be kept in mind. Someone told me from Inter-Kashi recently, he said, you know what, the travel, the timings, kickoffs, all these things, life is easier in the ISL than in the I-League. So it's a slog, it's a grind. And today's kickoff timing, 4:30 p.m., is an advantage at this time of the year for Inter-Kashi compared to BFC. BFC mainly played at 7:30 p.m. So these are all factors, right? These are all factors. And nobody can tell me there's no gulf of difference between the ISL and I-League. Or will it improve culture? See, you have to have a culture first to improve it, right? So that's going to be good evening, guten Abend, Rishabh. Welcome back. I think Kerala FC's coach statement is logical, very logical. Ayan, he's here for a job, and his job is to win matches and potentially win trophies with his club. So yeah. So therefore, what is wrong? Hi Vikram, I'm fine. What do you think about today's match, Inter-Kashi vs Bengaluru FC? Yeah, Inter-Kashi pulled it off. In the end, deserving win. So, yeah, good for them. A little bit of bragging rights also with all. Where is Julian Draxler playing at present? Zoravar, he's in Qatar. He is in Qatar, currently playing in the Qatar Stars League. Any news in national team friendly with Hong Kong game? Rushabh, news out of Thailand today that we're supposed to play Thailand on the 4th of June. And good game. Should be good test for us. I think Mohun Bagan Super Giant can do this in Challenge League. Not saying they can win, but decent. Until they have to prove it first. We have been underperformers at all levels. Let's see. Blasters fans have some beef with Bengaluru FC. Same for Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. This is the first time I see official club accounts bad-mouthing each other online. Most intense fanless derby ever. No, they have, right? East Bengal and Mohun Bagan have had a go at each other, and our friend has also been going at each other for others, so it's not the first time. Ashish posts nothing happened today in court, probably final hearing tomorrow. Yeah, Roshan, final hearing and then maybe an outcome next week. Not sure. Again, let's wait and see. So, big fan, how have you been? Thank you, Mr. Fafo. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing good wherever you are as well. Thoughts on SAF Cup postponement? Sterling, after what happened yesterday, and again, also the scheduling and other issues which are there, for June this year, maybe that's the best thing that could happen. So proud of my Mumbai boys, especially the younger lads. Everyone put their bodies on the line, says crazy Yash. Yeah, Yash. Respect to the boys, respect to Peter Kratky as well, who got this out of the boys, because needed. It was needed after this season, especially after that 5-0 loss to BFC in the ISL playoffs. Something like this was needed, and I think it gives Peter Kratky, it gives the team something to build on. Let's see. What do you think about the ISL next year? Will any team match up to Mohun Bagan Super Giant? Samban, See, the first problem is before I come, if anyone's going to challenge them, are we going to have an ISL? First question. Who's going to be in the ISL? Because at the moment is very, very clear to me. Mohammed Sporting are out of the ISL. And if it happens, I think there will be teams who will try to challenge. Yeah. I also think there's a gap between ISL and I-League, but if you want it more than your opponent, you win. Also, I think Edmund is a national team material, not because he's a better than current team, but because he wants it more. Yeah, could be a reason. SAF is so lame, forget club championship. They can't even organize senior men's championship. But Rishabh, I've been saying this club championship, tell me when it sees the day of light, right? And that's why, yeah. So therefore, and again, I think the political scenario in South Asia is not good for competition like that. Julian Draxler is playing at Al Ahly Qatar. Thanks, Punjab. Bro, says Casemiro, Dempo, Sargaonkar, Church Brothers, Sporting Club de Goa and Vasco. Sports Club are legacy clubs in Goa, where even my grandfather had his head held proudly. Not FC Goa, gambling casino. Might be your view, but interestingly, Mr. Dempo, Mr. Sargaonkar were original owners of FC Goa, and Sterling says true, but still FC Goa is able to pull in more numbers than the legacy clubs, and it will change. It will not change. The legacy clubs, the so-called legacy clubs in Goa, with all the history and the pedigree and whatever, have not been pulling crowds for the last 30, 40 years. That's the reality. I've never seen crowds in the stadiums whenever I've won to Goa. So don't tell me that they're big crowd pullers. The penalties were weird. Interkashi sent the defenders and still won. Panjal, does it make a difference if you're sending a defender or an attacker for penalty shootout? I don't know. And I know what you're feeling. But yeah, it worked for them. Huh? Well, what football we will save if we're not able to save our people's lives? Ritik, yes and no. Because as bad as it might sound, and you feel that elsewhere as well, you can stop something and then restart, but sports will continue, will have to continue. Hopefully I'm for Indian football, says Casemiro. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mumbai City could have done better this season if the forwards could have combined a bit more upfront instead of just resorting to back passes and wing attacks. Madam Firmino, you could see it like that. You could also see it, as I say, I feel that they had opportunities, but they didn't score. You know? So that's what I see. Frankly, Hitesh did a great job today. And this is an interesting one. Huh? Hitesh has been non-existent, didn't play the whole season. Injured also at the start, one has to, of course, say. But, and Franklin also, a lot of promise at the start of the season, didn't live up to it. It was rather Nathan who did from those two youngsters. So who knows? I think no more Kashmir Super League due to this Islamic terrorist. Ritik, let's see. I think those two are not interconnected. If Modern Sporting is out of the ISL, wouldn't Interkashi replace them? No, Rushabh. There is no replacing. If they're out, and there is no replacement. Sir, I may not have football knowledge as much as you, but internationally even struggled against local teams and got wonderful wins under much. So what are you trying to prove? You know? If Modern Sporting goes out, shouldn't both first, second spot and I-League get promotion to ISL? Nope, Madame from I think it's better to either keep the league the size it is or actually reduce, because I think that's the most important thing at the moment. Reality check, if current national team play with all Indian, say they will lose 2-0, say may not have skill but have heart. Reality check will be national team play with local club when you will watch it. Prabal, these are all theoretical views, sorry, you know. Um, yeah, and Aizawl FC is with its local guys is not even good enough to survive in the I League. So what are we talking about, right? I think if the Indian team was forced to play against an Indian club side, an all Indian club side, um, yeah, there's no comparison. Hola, Vashwar. Good evening. Hope you're doing good. India to play a friendly against Thailand in June. Yes, Moinok, 4th of June. That's supposedly the day. And that should be a good test ahead of the Hong Kong game. You know, so let's see. Let's see what can be done. In my opinion, the easiest way to stop Bangladesh from taking SAF is making sure the tournament never happens in the first place. Oops. So yeah, Pranjal, nice one. Nice one. I like that one. That's a nice little joke. So-called Goan legacy clubs has almost zero attendance in I-League. Yeah, Hannibal, that's a reality. So let's see. Kerala Blasters will win the Super Cup, I guess you mean, Vagabond. Let's see. Any fresh elections according to new constitution? Ritik, yes. But again, if that constitution is supposedly the way forward, I don't know. Rushab's answering Hannibal says they kept football alive for years and it's the Goan clubs who have done better in the AFC Cup. Hannibal, have they kept football alive? And this is the question regarding legacy clubs. Have they kept it really alive, or have they kept something alive in a formal way which should have been changed decades back? That would be my counter question, right? To anyone, be it in Kolkata, be it in Goa, be it elsewhere, so-called legacy clubs. What have legacy clubs done in Hyderabad or in Mysore? You know, Mysore was the center of football in the past, big center of football. So yeah, I don't buy that point. I don't buy that point. And Hannibal answers you by saying that doesn't pay your club's players and earn profits. Nothing of it does. But again, also fans coming doesn't mean that you're going to be profitable. So therefore, guys, you have certain points. So therefore, you know, having legacy is nice. Legacy is nice, but for me, it's a question of what makes most sense for us. And to me, very, very honestly, if I look at things, it has to be, you know, ideally it's a club with some sort of legacy, and yeah, it doesn't really work. Thailand is much better than us. If we score a goal or two, it will be great. I think let's see. Again, it's a friendly, right? So we shouldn't get carried away. For us, it's a good practice game. And then we'll have to see how we utilize that practice in going forward. Is there no football, Indian football, you mean, next month? Pranjal, theoretically there is, because the final is on the 3rd of May of the Super Cup. And after that, yes, it's off time. There is no football. And yeah, we will go into preparing. How's the Super Cup been so far for you? Vashwar, first of all, good to hear your voice in the commentary box. Interesting tournament. Some surprising matches, I would say. I would have not thought that East Bengal would play that badly against Kerala Blasters. That was very, very poor. Today was impressive, to say the least. You know, Interkashi winning the way they did against BFC, playing the way they did against BFC. Mumbai City, of course, I'm very, very happy with that result today, but also Goa dominating Gokulam, Punjab dominating Odisha. So it's been, yeah, it's been a good tournament so far, I would say. And I would say, and again, more interesting matches. I mean, we've got already We've got tomorrow Northeast United versus Mohammedan Sporting. We've got Jamshedpur FC versus Hyderabad FC. And already in the quarterfinals, we have Kerala Blasters versus Mohun Bagan and FC Goa versus Punjab FC, while we also already have Inter Kashi versus Mumbai City. And then, of course, the final quarterfinal to be confirmed. So, yeah, so far, I would say good tournament. What about Odisha FC? Bhagwant doesn't look good at the moment, right? Doesn't look good. And they have to rebuild. Huh? They have to rebuild quite a bit, and that's going to be the challenge for them. Let's see. Say said, as I see, a local league will lose, and all I talk is theoretical, but when national team plays, they play sometimes worse than local school clubs. Is that quality? Prabal, whatever you are saying is nice in one way or the other. But if you know what the level of the national team is, and then you know the level of what our league football is, ISL, I-League, and then going down, just watch I-League 2. If you're saying that our football is national league football is worse than school league football, watch I-League 2. Simple. Watch I-League 2, and then I guess you will get an understanding of how bad our football at the moment is, if you like it or not. You know? And the thing is, if you expect our teams to be playing world-class football, structured football, that's not going to happen. We don't have that quality. Across all levels, we have a lack of quality at the moment. That is the biggest problem. So don't come in local school football and this and that. That's a joke. What do you think of India's bid for Asian Cup? Are we ready? And is it a trigger mechanism for Olympics bid? It has nothing to do with Olympics, nothing with me. And we've bid for it, nice, but look at who else has bid for it. So are we really in the mix? I don't know. How your prediction for Northeast United tomorrow? Rebuildson, if you ask me, looking at Mohammedan Sporting, fielding a weakened squad. Yeah, then I think it's all advantage Northeast United FC. Until national team stops playing long ball and wings, we will lose. All lower teams in Asia improved except us. They know how to counter this type of games, unlike before. Prabha, again, we are not capable of playing any other football. We are not going to play. So sorry. If you think that, but to me, again, with all respect, we are not going to play a different kind of football because we are unable to play that football. Will the national team camp start right after Super Cup? Rushabh, I think they would give them a little bit of a break. I guess 10 days. I would think India most probably will reconvene around 14th or 15th of May and then prepare. Chinmay says Bangladesh national team is becoming scarier by the day. From the news I'm hearing every day of talented players getting implemented in the team. Don't know how Indian national team will cope, getting worried, sir. Chinmay, let them come in. Let them settle in. Not everyone is going to be a Hamza Chaudhary, India needs to pull up his socks, right? Manolo will have a chance finally to get some time to look for his players in the camp during off-season. Let's see what happen in the next FIFA window. Yeah, let's see. Is the news about Hector Yuste retiring true? However, there was some rumors, I remember. But I don't know if he's going to go back in Spain and play maybe for a lower division club, but otherwise, at his age, most probably retirement works. Owen Coyle seems to be lost with this Chennaiyin FC side. He doesn't look like how he was in Jamshedpur FC side. Sacking coming soon. Mike, I think Chennaiyin FC need to consider of finding a new coach. Yes, I would think so. Because he has the talent at his disposal. I mean, if you look at the squad starting lineup today, that's not a bad team. That's a decent team. If I look at it, Mohamed Nawaz in goal, Ryan Edwards, Laldin Puya, Vignesh, Elsinho, Connor Shields, Luca Brambilla, Jiteshwar, Wilma Jordan, Daniel Chimachuku, Irfan Yadav. That's a good starting 11. And then he was able to bring on Farooq Chaudhary, Namte, right? What was it? Jitendra Singh and Mandarao Desai. That's a good squad. So he has failed as a coach to me. He has massively failed as a coach to me. I apologize, I have nothing corrected to add, but I just can't stop thinking about us becoming a joke in the national level. Chinmay, I understand what you're feeling. It feels hard, it feels tough. Yeah, not easy, I guess. That's the challenge that you have when you're following the Indian national team these days. But yeah, I would say keep your head high, and we can only hope for better times. Any news on FC Goa, new coach? You think what nationally are the choices FC Goa match looking at? Mike, as far I've not heard any confirmation. I knew that they were looking at Spanish coaches. I think they want to go back, and let's see. Rishabh answers Prabal, that's the only way our players can play. You can't expect tiki-taka from them. They'll lose by even worse margins. Counter-attacking football is the only way. Yeah, Rishabh, I totally agree. As I said, we are playing the football we are capable of. That's sad reality for us. And nothing else is going to happen. So that's the challenge for us, I think. And yeah, let's wait and see how far we can go. I think we know that we are restricted. Lalan Dika made the best decision not to go to FC Goa. Bengaluru FC, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal. Northeast is the best way much they need a striker in place of Guillermo with Ajay wings. And Nestor's number 10. Yeah, but Mayank, they will most probably go for Guillermo will most probably replaced by another foreigner. Ajay, if he stays, Nestor staying. You have Parthiv Gogo, you've got a young Thoy. Again, it's a good decision because for him to settle in is easier, but the challenge is of a different level that he's faced. So therefore, let's wait to see. Kratky saved his job today, or does Mumbai City FC still looking for a replacement? Mac, I think it's not a question of if Kratky saved his job or not. I think Mumbai City generally strategically needs to think what they want to do in the summer. Does Kratky stay? There's been some criticism of Sujay Sharma as head of football as well. And therefore, let's see what Mumbai City do. I've seen this comment for years now. Local school football is better than national team. I'd say, guys, go and watch those games in the stadium. Yeah, Rishabh, again, whoever makes those comments, really, sorry, with all respect, but then there's no understanding of what international level football is and what school level or even what Indian level football is. As I say, just look at the level of I-League 2 football at this moment and then you will understand where we are. I think we need to do something before there's going to be a whole disaster, not only off the pitch, but on the pitch too. I think on the pitch, the disaster is already happening. We're in the middle of the crisis. If you see the lack of development of Indian football at international level over the last 5-6 years, then you see the development of other nations in those 5-6 years. And then you know that we're in a crisis. Like that's where we are. Yeah, that's the reality. Right, nearly 50 minutes of this talk on this 23rd of April. If you haven't, please do leave a like. 23 likes so far. Thank you very much. Share it with other people even to join in this. We're still going to be here, I think, for a while. And 2,511 subscribers to the channel. Thanks a lot for that. And as I say, do watch the shorter videos that I make on a daily basis. Today was a little more of a philosophical one. SOS, who can save us? Yesterday was about East Bengal. The day before about accountability, ethics, and moral. In the sense, Interkashi discussed I-League reviews of teams, of clubs. So do watch all of them. Thanks a lot once more. Why there are so many Spanish footballers and very few English, Dutch, German players play here is due to Spanish football agents. No, it's not due to agents. I think there are 2, 3 factors. I think the key factor is, if I want to talk, the first factor is that there are a lot of Spanish coaches in the market, and that's there. And Spanish players are cheaper than the mentioned English, Dutch, Germans, could add most, but the French, Italians as such, right? So Spanish players are cheaper, and Spanish players are also willing to move, right? It's to get a German player to leave Germany and to come to India, it's going to be difficult, right? So that's the thing. Talk about Malaysia FC, except the club could leave part. What should I speak? Do you think Odisha FC should find a new coach too? I think it's a consideration that they should have. Work with Lobera and find out, what plans does he have with the team, with the club. Can he take the team forward or not? And then, the club has to decide if that's the right way, or then say, thank you very much, Tata, bye-bye, we're going to get someone new. Does making single pass without any pressing is require European level quality? If you say I-League players are much worse, then sorry to say there is no difference between quality of me, you, and national team players. Probably, again, you can have your opinions. Again, please have it. I'm just saying what I think, what I feel, what I believe. And I-League players are much worse, yes. They are. If you're today, someone will tell me that Interkashi did this and Gokulam did that. Look at the lineup of Gokulam and look at Interkashi. Interkashi, half of the team, not even half of, more than half of the team is ISL experience. Let me just go through the lineup today. 1 second. Let me go through the lineup of the game today, right? Sarthak Golo has played, right? Naran Das has played. Even Bijoy has played some minutes, but I wouldn't call him an ISL player. Bryce has played. Prashant has played. Edwin has played. So I've got 5 players in that starting lineup who are ISL level players, and the foreigners potentially as well. So therefore, what am I saying, right? And then if you go down, and if you think you could be as good as the national team players, put on your football boots and then show and prove yourself. No one is stopping you from that, right? FC Goa will pick a Spanish coach, period, says Aditya. Can you please talk about the constitution when I'm spelling a ban? Aditya, I've said what I had to say about the constitution, what is happening. They need to get it cleared by FIFA, but yeah, it's not going to happen. Why are we scared of minions like Bangladesh when we have outright example of teams like Uzbekistan using cheats like Diego says, only going to dampen our mechanism to produce better homegrown players? Methamphetamine, again, with minions. If you call Bangladesh minions, other people will also call us minions. So give Bangladesh the respect that they deserve as a football team. And Uzbekistan, this Uzbekistan example that a lot of people bring up in Indian football doesn't make sense, because Uzbekistan has been a big Asian team for since their independence, actually. They just have been underperforming. Suddenly they seem to have realized how they can perform. So therefore, this Uzbekistan comparison that people bring up is utterly rubbish. India has been nowhere near, even if the ranking says, Uzbekistan is same or worse than us, Uzbekistan was always better than us, right? So that example does not stand, in my opinion. The doors for Kratka are always open in Odisha FC, says Aditya. Probably answering to Rishabh, I'm not saying play tiki-taka, but play at least simple football. Their passing is worse than school team and national team level. You can see they don't even care where ball going or no pressing. Yeah. What do you think the relative truth of ISL, which is a top league, but many clubs try to continue to search for good foreigners in the core position at the end, letting Indian players play inside? Rebilson, I think the new Kerala Blasters coach said it clearly. He's not here to develop Indian footballers. He's here to win. And that's the point. Club coaches are there to win. I get the frustration, bro, but let's be honest, an average guy like us won't even last for 5 minutes on the pitch. If we could, we would be playing in place of them. Yeah, exactly, Rishabh. When national team players, it looks like they came to walk on park. They fear the ball like bomb, no pressing, no urgency in passing. Fear simple passing, give it to opposition. It's like we pressured them to play. And Rushab's answer tell you what is going to require a lot of patience from our side. Under constant time we played haram football. It took some time for him to find his style with this players. Yeah, very very true, Rushabh. All we can do is be patient and back Manuru. Exactly, but also once in a while, question him. Obera is the highest paid coach, by the way. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to win things, right? Is ISL, which is a premium league, just a competition among the rich, or is it to lift Indian players to national team? It's a competition of clubs and franchises. Is it there to uplift Indian footballers? Yes, but that's a byproduct. As harsh as it might sound, but that's a byproduct. Zoravar answers Aditya, trust Lobey will turn Odisha into the best team in Asia, and he says hashtag extend Lobey 2047. Rava says, Rishabh, I'm a data scientist and know about data analytics. Also, I know little about how far psychology works. I can say issues is mental and watch Blue Lock. Understand what I'm saying. As to me, the difference between Liverpool and Bournemouth is bigger than BFC and Kashi. Is it? Then you're underestimating Bournemouth, I would say. By the news regarding Jackson Irvine tomorrow turned out to be false. So, so again, Jackson Irvine is captain of FC St. Pauli, right? Who got promoted to the Bundesliga. He's been a second Bundesliga player for the last few years. He's captaining them. They're going to stay in the league. They're going to offer him a new contract. Why would he leave? He's the captain of Australia, right? And the Australians who've come to India, they're losing their spots in the Australian national team. So why would he come? It doesn't make sense. Zahavi, he got injured. Simone Bagan went and dropped the deal. I think they should have gone for him since he's injured. Not even his own team would have taken him. Who's saying that, Aditya? It's again, Aditya. St. Pauli will keep him. Why should St. Pauli leave him? I brought Uzbekistan an example that they have not ever resorted to bringing overseas players. They have relied completely on homegrown players and have improved. I never brought ranking discussion. But I bring it into the discussion, right? And Uzbekistan also has brought in some German-born origin players way back, right? So therefore, they have brought in players. So not to say not, and their best players have been going to Europe. Considering Uzbekistan, I'm old enough to have seen Denisov winning UEFA Cup with CSK Moscow, Shashik playing for Dynamo Kiev in UCL, both Uzbeks players. Yeah, Shatskik. Yeah, great players. Great players, Roshan. Remember those. And among many leagues in Asia, the second division clubs in India can compete against top division one. Saudi and UAE, you think the second division is weak? Nadeem, also don't forget, it's a cup tie. It's a one-off tie, right? So a league and a cup is always different. I heard in a video today, according to rumors, that time Sporting Lisbon brought in Sunjit in the past was more PR getting into Indian market. Roshan, the PR angle was always there. Kansas, Sporting, 100%. But it was not only that. They wanted to figure out what is the standard in India, right? So, yeah, and that was something that they wanted to test out and try out with Sunil. Then Liverpool FC went out of FA Cup by relegation fighting ELF team. So that's what I'm saying. Leagues are the most honest competitions compared to cup competitions. The Super Cup, these results are nice, but could an Inter Kashi with the squad they currently have compete in the ISL? Simple question. With the top teams, no chance. Once in a while, maybe, but not on a regular basis. People make fake rumors saying Mohun Bagan bring some top foreigners. That is, they bring mostly from A-League or like from Indonesia, like Alberto or ex-ISL players. Nadeem, that's what most of the teams are doing, right? I mean, most of the teams are going and looking and finding players somewhere. They think, no, agents bring them to them. Again, if people think that there's some huge scouting network that these clubs have, no, they depend on scouts bringing them names, and then they Google them and they look at the transfer market and they go, oh, not bad, let's sign them. I have seen what mentality can do. That Argentina club U20 team came, Defensa, 6 and 18 hours traveling, played matches 2-3 hours, change in environment as the winter, played like monster in front of ISL Cup. Probably, but they have quality. Mentality, I agree with that. But if you don't have the quality, if you have a lack of quality, and yeah. Imagine Ananda, we are playing Uno. Now you have two options. Either you draw 25 or agree to fact that Mumbai City FC is a franchise. What will you choose? Aditya, I don't have to get into these kind of childish games. Sorry. By the way, where Ranjit Bajaj's so-called World Cup 2034 match? Aren't they supposed to be 15-year-old by now? Don't see them dominating U15 league. So now a good question to ask the gentleman. Indian players also can play with heart. I've seen that against Iraq match after that heart lost. Prabal, again, friendly. League for clubs and official matches, qualifiers or tournaments for national teams. He claimed those players to be the golden generation a few years back. 100%. Good. Again, this is, yeah. Everywhere leagues are bread, butter. National, international cups are cherry on top. Although as Dortmund fans, sometimes I feel other way around. Yeah. Post Dortmund last 2 years, the Champions League, yeah, that's football. India to play Thailand on June 4th, friendly in Thailand. Yes, sort of. Yes, we spoke about it. Good news for Indian football that India is getting a friendly before the Hong Kong match. Intakashi compete better than what Leicester competing in EPL. Nadeem, that's true, but your example of Bournemouth and Liverpool at the moment was the Premier League at the moment. You always have one or two teams who are exceptional. Then you have teams in the fighting for Champions spots. Then the rest seems to be fighting to do something. And then you have teams coming up from the EFL who are, from Championship or too weak. But and if you look at the I-League clubs, even though Punjab FC did okay in the first year, they struggled. If you ask them, they would say they struggled. And last season we saw Modern Sporting had a huge problem. Rushabh says to Prabal, I'm a psychology graduate. From my understanding, it takes time for a coach to find his right players, right style, right football. Under Constantine 2015 and 2000 was a huge difference. Yeah. And Constantine from 2002 to 2005 was also a difference, right? He had a lot of success initially, was struggling in the middle, and then he actually got it sorted. U20 FC Women's Asian Cup draw on 20th April. India is in pot 2. Yes, sort of. We are moving in the women's game in a lot of pot 2s, sadly, these days. Sadly, Lord's team had ruined what Constantine had built, and it's also AIFF failed to replace him. So, yeah, we are going to struggle again. That's my understanding. And that's the point, Rushabh. Very, very well said. In my opinion, that's the whole issue at this moment in time, that we are in a situation where we need to build, right? We need to build left, right, and center, a new national team, a new era. And for that to happen, we need to find the right players. And do we have the right players? Do we have the right mentality? As I've said in a video also, my feeling is that something is wrong in the dressing room. Now, if something is wrong in the dressing room and you don't sort it, then that is also an issue for the national team. You guys really believe Bajaj in that World Cup 2034 batch? People who believe that statement don't know how far football is processed. Aditya, I don't think here anyone will have believed that. But yeah, there are a lot of people in the general public who believed him, but I think over the last year, he's done a few things. The Anwar Singh now, this Interkashi, that's not helping them. I think we should have brought Rene Descartes as Indian national team coach. Okay. Hope India will qualify for AFC Asian Cup because without having exposure to the competition, Asia will have to have hope for World Cup. Or Wilson, World Cup is something we should not even be mentioning at this moment in time. We are far away from a World Cup, so let's not even use that. Make a podcast with Bajaj and ask him these questions. After all, he's the savior of Indian football. Zorawar, he will not come. He will not come and he will not answer these questions. So don't think now. Wait, India is going to play Thailand. We are doomed. Let's see. Even Mohammedan Sporting with all issues, players not getting salaries, injuries, we're getting few results. Nothing. But what kind of results, right? I think if at the end of the season, if you're bottom of the table, far away from reality, with all the that shows you the gulf. One miracle win against Bengaluru FC and Chennaiyin FC and few draws against my club. Nothing else has Mohammedan done. Okay. After all, he's done podcasts at Chuck the Football YouTube quite regularly. But let them. Again, Zorawar, let them. Yeah. Difference between Mohun Bagan and Chennai is bigger than Chennaiyin FC and Interkashi, which is small. Yeah. So what's the point, Nadeem? What's the point of that? Again, shifting bases, right? Punjab first season missed out players. Yeah, but Nadeem, look at the level at some of these clubs, right? Rishabh, how will national coach find brave players when ISL coaches said player development is not their task? Then whose task is that? Indian coaches, they never play brave and develop football. Prabal, look at the national team. The club coaches, again, their job is to win matches. And if you develop players with that, it's a side product because we don't have a system, right? We have to be honest enough. So for me, very, very clearly, the Indian players need to step up. The Indian players need to step up and, fight for their spots. Sunil Chetri is not playing because his name's Sunil Chetri. Sunil Chetri is playing because the coach thinks he's good enough. And if you see whenever someone else plays amongst the Indians, you think, okay, a certain Sunil Chetri is missing. PC goalkeeping issue cost them both seasons. They should sign Namdar Equipo, I think was the ex-player. Okay, Nadeem. If Kerala buses see bottled the Super Cup, this will be their biggest bottle job ever. I don't think so. I think if 2014, 2016 also, they could have actually won the ISL. Right? And they were closer than they are now. They still have to win 3 matches to win this tournament. Leave World Cup, we should be qualifying for AFC U17s, U20s, U23s. 3s regularly first, and then with aim would be qualifying for respective World Cups. Rishabh, and that's the problem. Right? The under-17s have been qualifying quite regularly. Under-23s have never qualified for the competition. The under-20s have not qualified for 19 years, but 19 years is wrong because in 2006 we hosted the under-20s. And that's the reality, right? Never 15 has played 4 matches and won 4 games, scoring 44 goals and conceding only 1. Okay, but that's not the 2034 team, right? Otherwise, he would be publicizing it. Do you think Zaragoza will change his job after the season? He's been very much like Owen Coyle. I don't think he's been like Owen Coyle. Do you think that Zaragoza has been like Owen Coyle? I thought, I don't know, So I don't see him being under that kind of a pressure that the club wants to remove him and put someone else in. I don't think so. Indian coaches fear losing. Onim is winning trophy and matches. They never let players do mistakes, instruct them not to keep ball. Junior level, they can't keep ball, then can they keep senior level? Probably, yeah, there you have a point. But the point is also we have a issue there, as you say, with winning matches and then thereby winning trophies. That fascination. It's not about developing players. So the focus of developing, if you focus on developing players, then it's a different thing than trying to win matches. Name others players really give 15. Zoravar, I didn't really want to ask that question. He's been giving Isuzu this answer like, yeah, Zoravar, but again, finishing third, getting to the final of the AIFF Cup, right? Again, we take out today, but that's success in Indian standards, or even for BFC standards. And what a night for Mumbai. Yes, the Waves, what a night, 4-0 against Chennaiyin FC. And yeah, I'm really happy that Mumbai City was able to get this win. And now, yeah, let's hope Mumbai City can face Interkashi and beat Interkashi and then move into the final four of the Super Cup. I think that's going to be the big challenge for Mumbai City. Let's see if they can do it. What went wrong for BFC in your opinion? They were favorites of Super Cup for me. Blue, as I said before the tournament, as a straight knockout. If people say that XYZ is favorite, doesn't mean anything. The wins of today, let's say Mumbai City played such a great match today. If they play a bad match against Interkashi, they're out. FC Goa, same thing, yeah. They won. Bad match against Punjab, tata bye-bye. So therefore, I don't know. I didn't see BFC as I didn't see anyone as favorites, to be honest. So yeah. Do you think Aladdin Ajare is the real GOAT since the start of ISL, or Koro is the best player so far? Wilson, Ajare has done it now one season. Koro did it over a few seasons. So in that way, I would say Koro, but there are others as well in the mix of the GOAT. Always difficult who's been the greatest in the ISL. So Rawat says East Bengal rumored to release Diamantakos and Buli. Also Crespo will be released. To me, Zoravar, yeah, it was in some sort of way it was brewing. I would say that there would be, it has to be a clear out foreigners. And the question is who would go. Messi Bully came on a short-term contract, did okay, I would say, better than others in the last few years who came in, Sal Crespo is too often injured. If he's fit, Sal Crespo is key midfielder, captain material. And Diamantakos, to me, is a problem. Sorry to say. I mean, he's nowhere near the level. You've seen him in the past year in Germany. And then we'll see. Then we'll see what happens. But to me, yeah, will be very, very interesting to see. But I think despite having a contract, releasing Diamantakos to me makes sense for Mohun. I'm saying for East Bengal. If Mumbai win, do you think Kratki will stay? Roshan, I think it's as with other teams as well. Whatever happens in the Super Cup is nice, but you speak more about the league, and there is, I think, a general conversation that Mumbai City have to have internally. Do they keep people? Do they change people? And then we'll have to see. So, yeah. Club who won in Super Cup will qualify for ACL 2 or ACL 3, ACL 2. Riverson, they will qualify for the qualifiers of ACL 2. Rushabh answers probably all Monroe can do is find a style, try to get best of these players he got. Honestly, this transition is at really bad time. Maybe into anything by the right time, but thanks to Shaji. Yeah, yeah, very well said, Rishabh. U13, U15 players need development for ball keeping, losing ball, recovering, passing, pressing, and handling press and crowd. Taking one-on-one first year, they will play worse and then improve start. Prabal, very simple thought. But, why do we always talk about losing the ball? Right? You should be working to keeping the ball and playing with the ball. So therefore, maybe that's the first mistake in the thought process, in my opinion. Do you think Mohun Bagan has any chance in Karabas's FC tomorrow? Since Mohun will play 20 players, can they beat this Karabas's super team? So now, first of all, they're not playing tomorrow. They're playing on the 26th. So that's the first thing. Yeah, that's the first thing that I would say. And yeah. Of course, they have a chance. If you see how wasteful the Blasters were against East Bengal, against a better team who could have scored, I don't know if that would have worked. I fear this campaign is going to end really bad. I hope not. Does AIFF do bone test for age? Yes, they used to do, but if you want to, you can play around with those as well. I guess it was 2-leg ties, then it would have been better, but for that just to happen along with the league. I don't think 2-leg ties work. I'm always for a straight knockout like this, but rather, as you say, through the season, right? And get more people involved. Had a new coach been appointed recently, had AIFF kicked Lords too much before, we might have been at a better place. Maybe even before that, Rishabh. I think even before that it was possible. It was not done. So that's a reality. Also, Anwar is facing heat among East Bengal fans. Many call him fraud. There are quite heavy, allegations against Anwar Ali from East Bengal fans, and it hasn't worked. So therefore, not an easy situation for him as a player, and if Anwar is honest to himself, most probably he's regretting his move from Mohun Bagan to East Bengal by now. Tinal, the show, people were criticizing Minerva on their results when I told the results saying about age. Honestly, for me, age groups results might not matter. Okay, Nadeem. By the way, Rajdeep Paul from Mohun Super Giant is the top goal scorer in U15 league. Interesting, yeah, we've been talking. If each club can produce one technically sound player, then that's good. Yeah. Ideal, but yeah, not gonna happen, right? And again, we come back, as Zonawa says, to the age fraud thing. Is football basics playing with foot, with ball? If you can play with keep ball on foot, then you are not footballers. Pressing, keeping ball, and basic skill can be improved only in junior level. Probably it depends on the footballer. Again, and this is a generic touch because some players will learn some things easily, early. Some players learn it later in life. Some players have not had the opportunity to learn. I remember when Baichung said, you know what, I went to Bury and Neil Warnock taught me how to, So, I don't know. So, yeah. What Anwar is facing is karma, says Zorawar. Yeah, who knows? Some guys even calling him Mohun Bagan agent. Is where you say this. Look, again, Anwar, lot of issues, I guess, with the player when we talk about him. Fitness, I guess, is an issue. He's not been at the level that he can be, I guess, and it's it's a challenge. It's a challenge for him to get out of this, to improve himself. But can he really? Right? And one thing which everyone is forgetting, which Goa didn't bother, which Mohun Bagan didn't bother, which East Bengal didn't bother, but Mumbai City FC bothered, was his heart condition. Is it that his health really doesn't allow him to do more? Yeah. You know, so yeah, that's the crazy thing. East Bengal fans are making conspiracy theories on how FSTL is conspiring against them. So however, FSTL doesn't have the time and doesn't have the desire to conspire against East Bengal. Whatever has been happening to East Bengal, it's East Bengal's own fault. And the faster that East Bengal fans realize that the issues that they face at the club are the issues of the club, and our internal issues are not external issues, that's the best way for them forward. East Bengal club's problems are not made by someone else; they're made by the club, right? So that's the problem, right? Look at East Bengal's women's team, right? They did a lot of the basic stuff right. And with doing the basic stuff right, what does it mean? It meant that they are successful in the women's game. Very, very simple. And that shows you, if you do the right things in Indian football, you can be successful. Bring in a good coach, work on the team, right? Then it'll work. But that's the problem with East Bengal. And the men's team, they brought in players. Yeah. Yeah. They're saying Anwar Yuste went to South as Angry Birds, the joke. If you teach kids from early age, plus is multiplication is division, and then expectation at graduation doing good and correct fast maths, it is impossible that wrong instinct is already developed and can't remove. Probably, yes, but sports, I think, is, again, this is too theoretical. And practical things, you can sort out certain things, but certain things you need to learn at an early age. They are blaming this club's current state on Ambani and Goenka and how they're paying referees. Yeah, as well. We've heard this so many times over the years now, and to me, what's been happening, right? What's been happening? East Bengal can only blame themselves. East Bengal can blame themselves, their management, even the investors, the coaches. Yeah. I think AIFF should stop this promotion relegation system. Instead, they should make us an interstate league with clubs representing state names like ATK, FC Goa, Kerala. Why? Jose, why? Why are you coming up with this idea? Interstate league makes no sense, right? I mean, we've got now a system, you know. So therefore, why come up with this? ISL should throw East Bengal out of ISL. Most probably they'll throw themselves out from the whole league. World Cup 2024 is a PR to attract best players to our academy. In future, aim might be to sell them and make money. Nadeem, why are you trying to find a positive thing in a thing which is a scam? Right? There was no team which is going anywhere at any stage. What, you won the Gothia Cup, some grassroots football tournament in Scandinavia? Brilliant. Right? You're going with supposedly an academy which is supposed to play World Cup against kids who are just playing their football for fun. That's probably not ISL, so all are thrown away. My point, bro, yeah. On the other hand, I-League should be a club league having privately owned clubs like Churchill Brothers, Mohun Bagan, and AIFF should make I-League a better standard of I-League. Oh, Jose. Yeah. Why? I mean, we've got a system which is working. Why change that? According to Google, Modern Sport has got an investor from the Middle East. However, they've had so many investors from the Middle East in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Not going to happen. Because all I-League subs were going and lost. How long will all clubs keep finding sponsors if they don't own profit from league? Jose, they've been losing money since day one. No one has made profits ever, right? So this is, yeah. The thing I mentioned about maths is, I saw a German coach said at Kill Now interview, he said, we make mistake of making simple things much complicated at youth level. Probably some say this, some say that. Yeah. Or train them, give them exposure, play some foreign academies or make some foreign academies, select them, and those players get developed there. No one's going to select our players, Nadeem. We are not in a situation of getting players selected anywhere. You're trying to help justify something which is, in my opinion, not justifiable. Very simply said. No? You know? Ranji Bajaj fought for Anwar Ali in courts, and now Anwar is one of the highest paid Indian players. Ranjit also with money, he would have been in Manipur, forgotten by him. Why would he be in Manipur? He's from Punjab. And why did he fight for him? What are you trying to, what are you trying to justify, Nadeem? What are you trying to justify? That this gentleman is a good guy and he's doing it out of the bottom of his heart and blah, 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 whatever? The guy has a heart problem. Mumbai City said, I don't know how many years ago, didn't sign him. He should not be playing. What are we talking about? Why are we discussing this? It makes no sense what you're saying. This guy has harmed Indian football over the years, has scammed people, has fooled people, and you are justifying that. Why? If he was good, he would have found an option B for this player, which is off the field. He should not be playing. So, and I'm fed up of people defending such people. He is a problem to Indian football, period. And anyone who's defending him, sorry. Better not to say what I'm thinking at this moment, right? And going to Delhi, he's not allowed to go to Delhi High Court for cases. Do you understand that? Or am I talking in, I don't know, a wrong language? Stop defending such people. If you want to say something good about Indian football, so what? In that Gothia Cup, not a single world-known academy was present. So, however, it's a grassroots tournament of fun tournaments, So what are we talking about? Until at youth 18, 21 players get at least 30 competitive games, they will not improve. Bench warming and audit training is not solution. Bravo, yeah. Great. This is something which we've been talking about. Yeah. I've been saying this for years. 16 to, not even 18 to 21, 16 to 21. Rava says he has 13 court cases against him. Forget that part. I'm not even going into that part of his whatever he's done or not. It's not my problem, right? He's harmed Indian football. Don't tell me he's made Anwar Ali money. Has he made Anwar Ali money or he's made it in his own pocket? That's also being said, right? And he broke contracts last year. Yeah. This season, but last year. Of the player. Genuine contract. So what are we talking about? Do you think the amount of foreigners in club matters for developing Indian players? I feel ISL was good quality football back then when 5 to 6 foreigners played. We also jumped from rank 169 to Jose. It has nothing to do with the number of foreigners. It was the system of the national team and a certain level of quality, right? So the quality of the ISL does not depend on the number of foreigners. The quality of the ISL depends on the number of foreigners, but the quality of Indian players doesn't depend on the number of foreigners. And if we're playing, let's say, 6 foreigners instead of 4, we're playing 5 Indians instead of 7, we have a problem because then our boys are not getting enough game time. Well, now we told in one stream that ISL teams send ISL regular players in RFDL 2 league. Isn't it better the reserve team play in, for example, I League 2 until they bring proper youngsters in RFDL? Roshan, supposedly, I have not watched RFDL this season, So uh, uh, but RFDL is better in quality than I League 2 at the moment. I mean, at least last season, what I saw. So therefore, no, it doesn't work. And the other clubs, it's the same discussion as we have in Germany, right? We have the same discussion about the third division or the fourth division. You know, yeah, that's the reality. But when ISL decreased the foreigners, the league quality decreased. It has nothing. The decreasing of foreigners has nothing to do with our rankings. It has to do with the coach. But at one point got me to believe we have some world class players waiting for breakthrough. Listen, my reality is, if you like it or not, right? We don't have any XYZ player waiting, the next Messi or Holland or Ronaldo or Pele or Maradona or whatever, waiting somewhere, right? Zoravar, just leave it, don't say that. He also has an allegation of playing football. Have they paid everyone at Delhi FC this season? As an Indian, we would go to court. Nadeem, no. As an Indian, you should do right what is right in the name of the sport and not what you think personally is right. And you violate the rules of sport. That's what he's been doing. This man got us a FIFA ban. Come on. What are you trying to defend? Just say you walk down the wrong lane, sorry, and come back. But you're going even deeper into this and making it worse. Bajaj's strategy is simple: uses victim card and patriotism to fool his followers. Yeah, and then says, "Listen, I've got the solutions to the problems," which he doesn't. He is part of the problem. He's not part of the solution. Sorry to say that. He could have been part of the solution if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He is part of the problem. If someone feel injustice against him, it's not injustice. These kind of characters have been harming Indian football for decades. People like him, with the whole bunch of Churchill brothers, right? So, yeah, defend all these people. Great people. That's why where we are. And we're going down even further, thanks to these people. Morati said your 16, 17 players don't have much difference in quality later. Other nations players get 30 plus games a year and are 4-5 game and bench difference with whether 20 and more 23. Manol is totally wrong. Prabal, I have been to Spain late last year and I saw kids, 15, 16-year-olds playing. We are nowhere near 15, 16-year-old Spaniards, right? When we look at that result that we played supposedly 3-3 against Real Madrid, we played a Real Madrid C, right? So what are we talking about? Back in early 2020, used to go for trials. I saw these RFDL kids playing one-touch football. All the boys at trial were stunned and still lacked the quality. Yeah. And his friends with Casey, they quite commonly appear on Chuck Their Football YouTube channel blaming the government. Yeah. Anwar Ali should pay compensation to Mohun Bagan for contract termination. This would be the verdict, I think, as per new FIFA rule. No ban, only compensation. Yeah, but there's no new rule. It's an old rule. Nadeem, you guys spend a lot of time and look at things and read things and all, right? I don't need to do that because I've worked in this game. I work in this game and I've got experience. This is a clear-cut case, right? The player, while on contract broken, the loaning club as well as a third club or a fourth club actually got involved. What are we talking about? Fine, at least 4 months of ban, 2 window ban for Delhi FC and East Bengal, hefty fine, and then we're done, right? Mohammad Sujan should go to CAS. They haven't. They missed their bus. They missed the chance. for whatever reasons of their own, right? Kerala versus Reserve battling against relegation in Kerala Premier League. Nadeem, and that shows you that before that, Thomas Schorsch had some very talented players, but that line of players or players you're bringing in, you're working with, is not going to always give you success, and that happens around the world. If you have a good match today, it doesn't mean that you'll have a good match XYZ later. So therefore, these are all, that's football. That is football, right? Even Ajax, for example, was struggling in the last few years because they didn't have the talent coming through that they've had in the past. So I quite agree with Bajaz's case. He's complained about government not supporting Indian football. So Rafa, but that's the fault of these people, right? Right? They could have done something different on different occasions, and then most probably the government would help. Right? Don't instigate trouble. Don't do your work. Then the government doesn't support you. And that's what's happened. That is what is now the real problem for Indian football. Yeah, Nadeem, but if someone calls you an agent, as I said, he shouldn't. But you brought it on yourself by defending someone who is, in my opinion, indefensible. And I've argued with him on things. Again, I don't have to be always right, but more often than not, I am rather right and the rest is wrong. Right? And I maintain that point. If I know something, I know something. You can argue me. Even the biggest people. So therefore, let's see. So whatever. That C was not a CTM, it's no touch of U17 U10 was something like B. The quality difference was there, but not much. Also, I agree they played possess football, not long ball. Yeah. And Zorawar has a small joke. East Bengal fans already fed. You don't have to. Guys, again, we can talk about Indian football, and work on it. But those who are not doing it, yeah. They think football development is more expensive compared to other sports. No, it's not. It's cheap, right? What do you need? You need a football, goals, a little bit of equipment, and you're done. How much equipment do you need in cricket, in a tennis, in a hockey? What if you select 100 kids aged 13 to 17, take them to European nations, play them in foreign club academy, give free education, then bring them to national team, give them a job, promise an ISL with development for work? You can't take that. That will not happen. Why would someone give you first of all, you can't put in kids under the age of 18 in Europe. That's the first problem. And secondly, why would a foreign club do that? Why would anyone want to do something with Indian football abroad? As someone, and again, I have to brag. I'm the one who's not most probably, I've done more tours to India with foreign teams than anybody else, right? They don't want to come to India anymore. Ask the big clubs. They always say, hey, we want to come. No one's coming. So therefore, Europe is not interested in India in the way, right? And that's the reality. Is Odisha and Chennaiyin shifting states? Ravar, I've discussed it in a video a few days ago. 6 days ago, where I said, why do ISL franchises consider relocation? Discuss it a little bit about these teams. Hyderabad, of course, will at some stage shift to Delhi, it looks like, because of the BC General Group who've taken over the club earlier this season. And if we look at others, I would think that Odisha FC at the moment, I don't think, but they have had talks. Let's be clear. Chennaiyin have also, despite saying that they didn't, they've had talks. Ahmedabad comes into the discussion, so we'll have to wait and see. Europe only sees India as a market for the leagues, nothing else. Yeah. But again, but it isn't. That's the other problem, right? If it was a market, then they would be spending a lot of money into it, and money would be coming in and going out. And also that's not happening. Defending Bajaj must be banned. His fans are absolutely ignorant, don't want to accept anything. Also hypocrite. Hard hitting blue, but yeah, on the point. Sad to say. Now, do you know where FC Bayern Global Academy play in a Bavarian local league? There's an Indian boy called Ahan Gupta in the squad. No, they don't play in any league. They only play friendlies, right? Sir, although I'm as knowledgeable in football as you, but you're unnecessarily complicating youth development and saying without any suggestions, saying nothing can work. Probably I'm not saying that. You're coming up with random things out of left, right, and center, and then saying this, do that. Right? Have you done it? Have you worked in it? Have you done work in grassroots and youth development? I've done that, right? But there are specific plans that you have to then create, and then one model will not fit all. Do you realize that also? That if you work a plan and say, listen, I'm going to try and implement something, let's say Mizoram, which we have done, that will not work in Manipur. That will not work in Bengal. What works in Bengal will not work. You have to organize that, right? And that is something. So I don't complicate things. I know what I can have to do. Maybe I'm not expressing it here in detail. I'm not. This is not going to be a session where I explain everything in detail, right? I mentioned a few things, but I know what works, what doesn't work, right? Having seen and done that, it's very nice. And I don't live in the theoretical work. I live in the practical world, right? It's like when we're talking about the national team. It doesn't work that way. What is new defenders are East Bengal fans? How are they ignorant? So Rafa, they are ignorant because the East Bengal fans are desperate for success, which in a way I can understand, right? Because the club has not been successful over a long period of time. But the issue here is with East Bengal fans is that they're willing to do anything and everything to be successful. Where I say, that's why I say that whatever happens, we should be honest enough to be, have a little bit of moral, have a little bit of ethics. And that has been lost, right? Especially because Mohun Bagan has been so successful over the last decade. Yeah, that's another problem. And they missed the bus. They could have tied up with Mr. Goenka, yeah, and had East Bengal super giant, but it is Mohun Bagan super giant by now. By the way, Bajaj hates Ambani as well. Yeah, right. But why? Because he belongs to an old gang who, sorry, not no, but he hates them because they have the money, right? He wants to be part of the big gang, but doesn't know what to do and doesn't have the money. That's the problem. People aren't interested in football, and with the people we have governing football is going nowhere. So that's a problem, but that can be solved. I think if the right steps are taken, the right people are brought on board, Indian football could change things. I still believe that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. I would say just give up and say thank you very much. I've tried my luck. And I know a lot of people who've done that in the last few years. A lot of people have given up. So, yeah, that's the thing. Nearly 1 hour, 45 minutes on this Wednesday evening. As I like to say, like, share, and subscribe. 19 likes so far. Thanks a lot. Share with other people. Let people join, yeah. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. Watch the videos, as I like to say. Do subscribe. And as Ranava says, East Bengal fans still more fans about selling that. They didn't sell that club. And this is something that East Bengal fans, what do you rather try it on your own and be unsuccessful, or you'd rather join hands with Mr. Goenka and be successful? Simple question. Simple question. But that's the point. To every problem, there are practical solutions, but one exception is the AIFF. Yeah. So I mean, at the moment, it seems like it. I would say even Shishu might be better. I don't think so. They're all, as long as they do, all these guys don't bring in the right people to run it, East Bengal is a very, very difficult one. You have to bring in someone who's very strong, who can call the shots at East Bengal, who's willing to also say the things that people don't want to hear, be it the club officials, the legacy officials, be it the investor, and be it so therefore that's the reality, right? So suggestion may be good, bad. It's all theoretical. According to you, you didn't explain what problem with any suggestion, but only answers do not work. Too much was also somewhat similar. Prabha, you've not understood anything that I've said. You think you understand, right? You think you understand, You're making suggestions which you think will work, right? And out of experience, I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way, right? So either you will want to continue this argument of yours that you think you know certain things, and I supposedly don't, right? But hey, and today's discussion on a number of points just proves also why Indian football is the way it is, because people don't want to recognize certain things. Neither is the problem. Zorawar, he is part of the problem. I mean, they can't get money, but club officials, will they use it right way? Blue, they've allowed it to happen with the women's team. Very interesting. The women's team, they allowed it to happen. And with this, I'm going to end today because I think it's a perfect summary. Roshan says, I'm afraid on now there are too many people in India who don't understand modern organized football like in Germany. With the difference in Germany, such people would be irrelevant. Hard hitting, but Roshan, very, very true. You know your because you know your things, Roshan. Here, we also see it in India, and so therefore, what to say? Stimac also said Indians don't understand football and fooled us for success. Prabal, don't compare with Igor Stimac. With all due respect, right? I know what I've done for Indian football over the last 25 years. Igor Stimac was surely not part of it, right? So if you don't know me and don't know my work and don't know what I've done, right? Then I think first my request would be do your homework and then come and have a discussion. We can have a discussion. I don't have a problem with it. But if you don't know and you think you're selling as if knowing, I know psychology, I'm data scientist, I know I'm this and that and everything. That's nice, But it is you're nowhere in a position to have a football discussion with me. Sorry to say that, right? Because you are not going to be able to take that 27 years of practical experience of also plus having grown up here in Germany and knowing, and that's what I'm saying, what Roshan said is very, very right. In India, a lot of people think that they've read up something, they've watched a few things, and they understand football. Biggest problem in India. Biggest problem. Because that is not going to be the way how to do it. Yeah. Am I generalizing? Yes, most probably I'm generalizing. Of course I am. But when I've worked on project, I knew what I was doing. And in the few that are still existent, I know that they've worked. I know when I look at Mizoram, I look at Mumbai City FC, I look at Punjab FC, I see my influence in those projects. So I can say. So Rava said, good night, and a moment of silence for Indian football. And the last one from Simon, will Indian football ever come out of these trenches? Simon, only with the right leadership. Without the right leadership, we'll be having discussions like tonight where I feel, we're not getting anywhere. We're actually walking backwards, and this just proves it. And I was more referring to officials or influential people. Roshan, I know, but I can also take it to this discussion, and that is something which is there. With that, I end tonight. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you tomorrow, and we'll speak to you soon.